Come on the show. I'm like, all right, here we go. What a great, all right, here we go. And welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. We're live here Friday, January 30th. It's the third hour on Friday. So it's time for What Just Happened. And so much just happened. We need more than 1 hour. We have three great people to break it down. Lizz Winstead's back, comedian, co-creator of The Daily Show, an activist on the abortion access front. Of course, she created Abortion Access Front, the host of podcast Feminist Buzzkills, and lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where she's coming to us live from there, where she's been at protests and involved in a lot of things. So we'll talk about that. Nice to see you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Also here, Keith Price is back, comedian, actor, writer. He is the host and executive producer of his own podcast, Keith Price's Curtain Call, available on Broadway World and other places. And he's a regular guest here and on John Fugelsang's show and others. Keith, nice to see you.
Good to see you too, Habibi. How are you?
I'm a mess.
That's a loaded question. That's a loaded question, I think.
And Jason Selvig's back. Our buddy Jason is one half of the very funny duo, The Good Liars, and they have Substack, substack.com, Good Liars. You guys still have a podcast?
Yeah, we have a podcast. We've been off. We've been on the road a lot in the last couple of weeks, but The Good Liars Tell the Truth wherever you get your podcasts.
That's right. Good. And you were just in Minneapolis as well.
Jason,
so we're going to start.
I wanted to cook you a meal. I saw your shit after that, and I was like, next time you come, reach out, friend.
Yes. I almost came yesterday, and it didn't work out with the timing. But unfortunately, I'll probably be back. Yeah.
Well, I'm here, and I got you.
If my show can't bring people together for dinner, what can it do? That's what my show's really about. It's like it's sort of like Open Table, but deantable.com. So Lizz, let's start with Minneapolis before we get to Don Lemon, because the big Don Lemon did happen in Minneapolis where the event happened. He was charged in LA. I mean, he's arrested in LA. But Lizz, you've been there in the street. You were involved in the protests, and we're going to go to Jason next, because they've been covering it for The Good Liars. Lizz, what can you share about the resilience of the people in Minneapolis?
I think that the people have been sort of, reiterating certain things. I think the thing to remember most about Minnesota is our long history of just being in neighborhood community. And we use the word neighbors more than we use the word community. If you'll hear a lot of Minnesotans talk, that's a word that we share a lot. But between our strong labor movements, we have an incredible long history of the reproductive rights movement kind of burgeoning out of Minnesota. And then when we talk about having to deal with one of the worst and most corrupt police forces ever in our country for a really long time, and then culminating with, George Floyd and Dante Wright and all these executions. So the people of Minnesota have always been counted on each other instead of counting on anybody else, right? And so we pride ourselves in the community that we've created. We pride ourselves in being stewards of our environment. We pride ourselves in making sure our neighbors are okay. And so I don't think people really understand that until they see it. Jason, I'm sure you were like, oh my God, this is really wild to be here, right? But it's something that is organic to who we are. And you don't come out in this weather, in these conditions, against armed oppressors unless the place you're fighting for and the people that you are fighting for are profoundly important to you and profoundly worth defending. And I think that the underestimation, again, and it goes to Trump's administration and Trump just generally having people who are ahistorical, have no knowledge, right? And so to come here at this time in this place and to attack these people who immigration, trans folks, all of that have made the fabric of who we are richer and more vibrant, and to try to say that that is the problem, we won't be gaslit. We don't have time. We don't have time to be gaslighting. Gaslighting could be an energy source that we could harness.
Right.
Something else.
Right. I mean, if you were gaslit, I mean, it would warm you, but it's not what you want. I understand. So
Jason, that's kind of the sort of makeup of who we are.
So, Jason, you were there with the Good Liars mocking the protesters, right? You were there to make fun of
Hard no on that one. Hard no.
I'm kidding. So tell us, what were you doing? You were talking to people. Did you find Trumpers? What did you do?
Well, there was one instance. It was actually, we were on Portland Avenue near the memorial site for Renee Good. Oh. And as we were interviewing somebody, a truck pulled up with it looks like, I was almost said kids, but they're, 20-something-year-olds in a truck yelling, Trump, 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 go home, like right at the memorial site, which I was just like, I can't believe this has happened. I could not imagine that, and if the tables were turned and it was somebody from the left doing that, like how that would just be used against them by Trump and other people. But from what we saw on the ground, like people are scared. Like it did not feel like the United States of America there. And there's a couple examples of that. While we were filming there on Portland Avenue, I was interviewing somebody, and somebody had pulled over their car and saw that we were, filming and interviewing. They didn't know who we were. And a guy came up and said, I'm a U.S. citizen. I just found out that ICE raided my house. Can you help? Wow. And I was like, I don't know how I can help, but we can certainly go check it out. And, got a little bit more information that he just got a call that they were like banging on the door and trying to break down the door. And it took us, 25 minutes to get to the house. We got there. No one was there. But the woman that I was interviewing called the local authorities and confirmed that ICE was there at the address that he said. And another example of that is we were at in a shopping center by an Aldi. And we were there talking with another guy who goes out and interviews people, and somebody pulled over and they recognized us, and they were like, "Is ICE here? Is ICE here right now?" Because I have to warn somebody that works down here. It did not feel like the United States. It felt like, you're in some World War II movie or something. Like it did not feel like this is the United States of America. But the one thing we kept hearing from people in Minnesota was Minnesota nice. And Liz, I don't know if that's an expression that is you hear a lot there, but it's like if it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us, and we have to stand up. We have to stand up to this. And it was terrifying. And we saw the ICE agents come out of the Whipple building with Greg Bovino, and they came up to the protesters and instigated violence with the protesters. They came, Greg Bovino pointed at somebody, and then the ICE agent next to him shoved this guy to the ground, a guy who was standing there giving the peace sign, shoved him to the ground, threw tear gas on the ground. And it was, they were instigating this. And I talked to a reporter after, and I was like, that was crazy. And they said, oh, they were filming. They were filming this.
Of course.
Across this, they had cameras there. They were filming, and then 2 minutes later, we saw Greg Bovino across the street with a boom mic, addressing the camera, basically like creating content for their social media, and trying to instigate violence from the other side. And all of the ICE agents wore masks except for Greg Bovino, who I must say, Greg Bovino in person was much shorter than he looks on television.
Do they carry him on their shoulders? How do they do that?
It is interesting because it does feel like he's overcompensating for something, the way he's acting right now. And like much like Trump, like putting his name on things, like how aggressive the tactics were with Greg Bovino. It did feel like it was like very Trumpy how he was overcompensating for things. But the scene, it felt like, I keep going back and thinking like what it reminded me of was January 6th. Being there at the Capitol on January 6th. And I'd said this before, that the ICE agents, they reminded me of the rioters on January 6th. The way they were acting reminded me of the Trump supporters that we saw storming the Capitol, beating the hell out of the Capitol Police on January 6th. It was the same energy. And I kept having that feeling after we left, that this reminded me of January 6th. I know people have been saying, oh, the Proud Boys, all these people that were pardoned, are they ICE agents now? And there's been all these reports out there, and I'm left with that. Like, is this who are these people? You can't see their faces. We don't know who they are. They're going around with cameras, taking pictures of protesters, and sometimes even saying their names back to them after they scan their faces and going to their houses. So it was a very scary scene there in Minnesota, and I can't emphasize that enough. It was like, and coming back from it, it was like I would tell people I was in Minnesota, and they were like, "Oh God." Like imagine that, like in the United
You went
States
to
of
war.
America,
Yeah.
like I was
Like,
in
you
Minnesota.
went to
Oh my
war.
God,
I
are
know.
you okay?
behind-
Like,
You were behind
to
enemy
your
lines.
point, I rented a car here because I don't want to drive my car around because they are tagging people all the time. And like, I think for those of us who have, I mean, none of us were at J6, but we've seen it on TV.
No,
To
Jason
give
was.
people that visceral, like, oh my God, I know exactly what that feels like.
Right.
If you've ever been in a dog park and dogs have all of a sudden fought and you don't know who's doing what and everybody's in it and you're trying to get your dog and it feels super scary, think of those. They are the human version of that. It feels like there is no control. It feels like there is no impulse to deal with humanity. There is only this visceral thing when you see it. And that part feels, I've been desperately trying to give folks a circumstance that they have been in before, especially white folks, because black folks have been in this situation before, they know. But for white folks to put themselves in a visceral experience with humanity.
bullies. It's like high school bullies, but there's 50 of them in a row coming at
armed
you.
and masked.
Armed.
So
Yeah.
let's go to Keith, because Keith, as many black people have called the show and said, "Oh, this we know this. This is nothing new."
Well,
For the first time, you're being subjected to what they or their grandparents or their parents are subjected to in America history.
Exactly. Well, that's for me the as I watch this stuff unfold the way that it is unfolding, and it is horrible to watch, especially because I'm in New York City, and I have certain opinions about how all of this stuff has gone down to begin with, and I also know that I have to be very careful about where I sacrifice myself to be, because I know in that situation I'm going to be the first person that's going to get knocked over, knocked down, pushed over, or swat. And so that is one of the reasons why black people are staying away from all of this, if y'all have been paying attention. But also, too, historically, watching how people are responding to this now, and I should say, watching how white people are responding to this now, and I hearken back to watching the videos of the dogs chasing us in the streets, and the fighting on the bridge, and the constant police and the water hoses, and all of that stuff was a part of our having to find a place of resilience. And so it's interesting now watching how, and I like to say the good white people are like, sometimes when Joy says the spicy white people, watching you all find your resilience now, because, we've had it up this whole time, and we've tried to use it as a community to help everyone else. And we've noticed that some people have been listening and other people have not. And it seems like the have not listens are the ones that are really running amok right now. And so, like I said, I feel bad because, like I said, this is really, it's really like watching a film about the Third Reich as you're sitting here, as it's happening around you. It's like being in that scene in Cabaret at the end when all the Nazis all walk in, and there you are, trying to enjoy your little cocktail, and now it's over. And part of it is because you've been sitting in the cabaret, not paying attention to what's going on outside in the world. And so, now that people are starting to pay attention to what's going on outside in the world, let's see what happens next. Because again, like I said, black folks, we're sitting around waiting because we know what's going to be coming next. And so
Which is
Can you give us? Can you let us know, please?
Well, it's already started.
what's happening, but just getting worse. Right, the arrest of Don Lemon.
But you're at the beginning of it.
Right, they arrest Don Lemon. The only journalist they've arrested so far is a black journalist, two black journalists, in fact, Georgia Ford. Jason, I want to ask you sincerely, because Don Lemon was not part of the protest in the church.
Nope.
He followed them. You guys are with cameras all the time doing that very same thing. I mean, do you have to be concerned in the back of your mind now if you follow an anti-Trump protest that you might get arrested or charged with a crime?
I mean, yes. The short answer is yes, definitely. I mean, thinking about this with Don Lemon, and like we said, like we were there outside when this skirmish happened, between the ICE agents and the protesters. We were there, like like right there with the lines of them. Like there could have been that if they want to like create a crime out of that, like that, you know, the door's open for them. But the Don Lemon thing, it's scary on a number of levels. But like, just to be clear, if this was a Fox News reporter covering the protest, they would not be arrested. Like
Great
Don
point.
Lemon is
Great
a
point.
critic of Trump. Trump has gone after him on numerous occasions. That's the reason they're going after him. If it was Laura Ingraham, she would be given the Presidential Medal of Honor. Like Trump is arresting Don Lemon. He arrested Don Lemon, but he hasn't arrested anyone who shot protesters in the head yet.
Thank you.
That is the first. This is the first big arrest from this is Don Lemon. Like, let's be serious here. Like, Renee Good was shot in the face. Like, somebody was shot in the face because they found a gun and they disarmed him and they shot him in the head. This is crazy that you are arresting Don Lemon now, and you arrest protesters and not murderers. It just shows like what their idea of justice is. The idea of justice is justice for Donald Trump. It's for him. He feels like he's been wronged by Don Lemon in the past. This is a completely justifiable thing to do. It is terrifying. It is terrifying. And I don't think it's obviously it's not gonna stop here. I mean, it's kind of the point.
Well,
I just wanted to say one thing though. It's like this whole thing about doing this to Don Lemon is a twofold thing if you're paying attention. Because one, this is an opportunity to go after journalists. Yes, yes, yes. We all know that. But this is also a subtle reminder for all of us of color as well, that just because we're sitting out doesn't mean that we're not going to come for you too. And that's what I'm looking at as well. Because again, Don Lemon is not the only person that's been talking out against Trump at all. He's been, the problem is that you can't have mouthy black people. You can't, not in the middle of what's going on now. That's all you need is mouthy black people. That's why people are mad at Jasmine Crockett, because she's mouthy and she said, you know, they're mad at all of these people that are not afraid to speak. And so the more that they try to silence the ones who try to speak the most is how they're going to try to silence the rest of us. And so, you know, the Don Lemon thing is really, it's messed up. It's really messed up. But again, you know, how interesting it's the black guy that gets snatched in all of this. That's how I see it now.
The black gay guy too, right?
People.
The black gay man.
And the black gay man.
So
Hello.
and piggybacking on that, like who is being terrorized? Like obviously protesters have been shot and killed by ICE agents, but who are the people being terrorized in Minneapolis? It's black and brown people. Like those are the people who are scared to leave their homes. Those are the people that are like having groceries delivered to them. And then the people who are nice enough to deliver the groceries are then being followed by ICE. People carrying bags are being followed by ICE to try and find somebody delivering groceries to somebody. So those are the people being terrorized here.
Jason, they're now targeting in parking. They're now in parking lots of grocery stores, targeting every white woman who goes in, especially in Costco or a place where they sell bulk, and they're following us home.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, Keith.
No,
following us home to see if we're going to go deliver to a neighborhood that is rich with immigrants. And so now the directive is, if you are part of the mutual aid programmatic piece, if you're going shopping, go home first and then deliver your stuff later. It's a madhouse here. I mean,
this is one story I heard from someone there, and I haven't verified this, but one story I heard from somebody there is that people who are delivering the food for them, they get the piece of paper, then like nothing's on their phone. They get a piece of paper where they're delivering the food. And then if you're pulled over,
eat it.
There are instructions to eat it.
Wow.
To eat the piece of paper.
Yes,
so
eat the piece of paper. That is
it's like the
real.
underground during the Nazi occupation of France.
Hello.
Like the Vichy government when they were this, you know, I was with Liz earlier today. We were on Joy Reid's show. She did breaking news and she had us on. And I mentioned yesterday I spoke to a Minneapolis council person, Aisha, and I talked to her and she was describing what's going on. And I said to her, I have this weird feeling like I'm talking to someone behind enemy lines during a war. And I said, is that over the top? She said, no, that's what we feel like. And like in the United States of America, she's a council person. And I don't want to destroy screw up her last name. It's Chatai. I believe I might be screwing up, but that's what she said. And it was like she was emotional and talking about what's going on. And it reminded me, I spoke to people in Ukraine who are there now, and the war's happening not far from them. In this case, they are on the front lines, and she's brown. She's, Indian American. So she has to deal with that extra level of standing out as a council member in the district where Alex Preddy was killed. I mean, that's her district. And she was showing me the whistle and what happens. And I'm like, when we go like, this can't be America. The worst part for MAGA, this is the America they dreamed of. This is the problem. Because if they weren't, they would stand up and they would yell about this. Keith, if we didn't like what Biden was doing, if Biden was doing something like this, as Democrats, we'd have no problem going, what are you doing? That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
We criticize our presidents all the time. I think they agree. Some might say they're afraid. I think the rank and file online, they're cheering Don Lemon being arrested today. I mean, big name people, Megyn Kelly, others. This is good. This is good. You're a journalist, you jackass.
Well, Megyn Kelly. See, first of all, you're talking about Megyn Kelly being a journalist, and she was a journalist. Whatever essence of that is gone.
Right.
But again, this is the same person that the president basically was talking about her being on a period or something during one of those debates.
I remember.
So it's like, the fact that she's cheering this whole thing going on and not remembering that, again, you are still a woman. Yes, you are a white woman, but you are still a woman. And the minute that you make one misstep in this whole process of saluting and cheering on this whole foolishness, they are going to step on you like a fucking bug. Ask Kristi Noem why she's sitting in a meeting and they're not even letting her speak. Can we talk about that?
We're going to.
That's what's going to happen. Pam Bondi, the only reason why Pam Bondi is still around and still able to speak is because that bitch has receipts from Florida.
Yes.
That's why she's speaking. That's why she can still sit there and kind of keep yapping her mouth and going on, because she knows that they're not, whatever those files have in it that they've already erased, that they've now presenting down to the world, whatever they've taken out, I guarantee you she's got a little flash drive of that somewhere in her house back home underneath some little frog thing in the rock garden. Trust me.
That's her get out of mega jail free card that she has. Liz, I want to ask you about the Bruce Springsteen song. Got a lot of press nationally. Did it make? And the song is "The Streets of Minneapolis." It sounds like Bob Dylan, but it reminded me of a folk song. I played on the show a clip of Neil Young's "Ohio" about 4 Dead in Ohio because it reminded me, not musically but thematically, because we didn't have songs like this now. We don't have songs about Americans being killed by our own forces. The only one I could think of was that, or ones with the police, like NWA and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like this kind of stuff.
But again, 30 years ago, we were trying to tell y'all.
I know. So, Liz, but how was the Bruce Springsteen song? Was it embraced by people? Did it get much press in Minneapolis where people were like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, of course it did. It's also, there's a 99% chance that he is singing it right now in Minneapolis at First Avenue as we speak. There's a concert that Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine and Ike Riley are doing. It's literally a morning concert. Doors were at 10 and the concert started at 10:30, and there's a special guest, and people are saying that it's probably Bruce, so that's everybody's down there right now. I am not down there because I did not snap up the tickets as fast as they went. But yeah,
Winstead, you're like the mayor of Minnesota.
I mean, look, I've been here for 1,000 years. It was, so I've been kind of part of these movements since there has been here. And I think that the other miscalculation that was profound in all of this was to come to Minnesota first. People who know how to organize, people who will organize, people who are a shining example of what it means to stand up to totalitarianism. And now the rest of America has a playbook, has people they can consult, has people that can help them organize in the way they are. And also, ain't nobody gets to fucking, it's too cold, I can't do it, it's whatever. Like, no. You just take.
You guys are unbelievable. Right. How resilient you are.
So literally showing the world that America is not accepting this bullshit is the thing I think everybody on this call has probably
it's actually a radio
talked
show,
with each other or talked with our friends about, which is the world hates us because the world doesn't care about Trump. They care that the American people profoundly elected Trump. So to show a display of pushback, profound, I think is a really, really a thing that we need to cling on to and keep doing to show that we do fight against this shit.
I think it's important. I think it's interesting, though. I mean, Jason just saw this nightmare what ICE is doing, and they're sending ICE to the Olympic Games in Italy. And my favorite line is literally by a top government official saying, "It's not like the SS are coming."
No, that's always a good sign. That's always a good sign when you compare things to Nazi Germany. We're not. It's not like they're that bad. Yeah,
ICE's slogan is like, "ICE, we're not the we're
not the SS.
Exactly. At least we're not yet.
We're writing our own history here."
They're going to assist with security. The Trump administration sent them there to Giorgia Meloni's government to help with security. Why would you send ICE? I thought you want to get rid of the worst of the worst. And apparently going after the worst of the worst meant that was a hiring policy of ICE. They were hiring the worst of the worst. That's what this is. But Jason, I mean, sending ICE to, and this is not a joke, folks. They really are. And one of Giorgia Meloni, the prime minister's top aide, said, it's not like the SS are coming to try to calm people down. People are like, we saw the SS.
Exactly.
Like, this is not even, you kidding me? You know, Mussolini was here. This is bullshit. And she likes Mussolini, though, Meloni. I mean, I don't say the world's got to watch us and go like, what are you're exporting your fascist
foolishness. Yeah.
It's funny because I get, it's not funny, actually. I get lots of messages from people from Europe and other countries who are like, what's happening there? What is going on there? You know, they've been following, the Good Liars for a long time. And then they're seeing on the news, like kind of like the warning signs that we've kind of had in our videos over the years. Like now it's actually happening here in the United States. And they're like, is this really it? Is this really what's happening there? And I don't blame a country for not wanting to bring the chaos that we have here on every single level to their country for the Olympic Games. And let's not forget, the U.S. is hosting the World Cup. We've got the Summer Olympics coming up. Like there are going to be athletes, and we've already heard from, I think, the German World Cup team is talked about like potentially protesting here. I can't imagine other countries wanting to send their athletes here, the best of the best from their countries, when this is happening in our streets, and you have a president who is cheerleading this and smearing the victims of his own crimes. Like, why would you want to send somebody to the country? Why would you want to send your athletes here? It's like having a double effect of not only just like ruining our standing in the world, but also just like making it so like now no one is ever going to want to come here and do something, especially for a big event like that.
Well, I mean, if you are here legally or not, it doesn't seem like that will matter. So if you are an international athlete coming here for some international sporting event, and you have to show up wondering whether or not these fucking yahoos walking around in these brown outfits and masks are going to take an opportunity to just shoot you on the street because, well, they can. They're doing it to the people that already live here. So why wouldn't they do it to us? Why wouldn't we, why wouldn't we have that happen here? It's like it is so horrible because it feels like as this continues on, it's like we're just setting ourselves up for one of those moments like, the 1972 Olympics with Berlin. Like we're going to have some sort of fucked
Munich,
up
1932.
Munich, like some sort of fucked up
not 72.
International incident. Because
Munich, right? That was different, right? Where the
because we're sending these idiot people that don't know how to fucking behave in general across the pond to represent us even more so. It's like, to me, that is what's frightening. It's like
we should send ICE as our team. We don't even send our here's our best and the bright ICE, the ice skiing team. They start tackling other teams.
We got military bases and shit all over Italy
it's
and
over.
all these other places. If we need security, we got military bases there. We don't need to send these incompetent, violent, horrible human beings over there to represent us or to secure what? And then what are they securing?
They're securing, everybody's going to have to turn their medals over to Donald Trump.
Yeah,
maybe, right.
That is
it. Them all.
That is the safety.
For the king.
Everybody will be fine.
That is not
literally go.
That's like almost not a joke. That's almost not a joke.
That's like like on the podium, and ICE comes over, just pulls the medals down. Thank you.
Yes.
Let's go. The flag.
As soon as they do the what is it, the songs for the countries, the
national anthem.
The national anthems.
The flag goes up.
As soon as the numbers are over, they just pick them right up.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's
medals
go.
in the box. Medals in the box. All right, let's take a break. And we're going to come back, and at least we have a great documentary we can relax watching for the weekend. So we've got the Melania thing going on. Let's take a break and come back. Talk Melania, the movie, right after this. And welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. We're live here Friday, January 30th, continuing our conversation with Lizz Winstead, Jason Selvig, and Keith Price. But Keith, before we talk the amazing Melania movie, it's like wicked. It's going to be great. I got to touch on something you mentioned at the Trump cabinet meeting where they didn't let Kristi Noem speak. And it reminds me of like in the James Bond movie where the villain, and all of a sudden the bottom falls out and she's like in a shark tank, but in this case it's dogs because she killed dogs. And it's like relatives to the dogs she killed there to eat her. That's how I was waiting. I'm like, this is not going to go well for you. You've not seen the Bond movie? Like, can you stand over there? I'm not going to stand over there. And right to the ground in the glass case in the bottom. What do you think?
Like in Austin Powers too,
Exactly.
knowing the construction pieces that they would do to even make that, she'll probably get stuck in the chute falling down or something. Again, here. So the women in these administrations, are feeling themselves. They're getting their, look at her, look at what she's done, look at how she's spending money, look at what it's like. She's making all of these foibles, and she believes that still she's going to be protected. And in the end, I don't know, but don't they realize, especially women in this organization, don't they realize that they are just merely a token, just like the Byron Donalds and all of them of the world? They are merely a tokens. And what happens to tokens? They get spent. And so her days are numbered. She's already sitting in a meeting with her mouth shut. So there's not going to be much longer happening. And it's going to be awful.
I'm starting to think her dog took his own life.
It was a suicide. He took the gun.
He just couldn't take it anymore. It's like, if I have to live with this bitch, I don't want to be on this earth.
I can't do it.
Took a header to itself.
You imagine writing in your own biography that you kill a dog to show like you're tough. Like, what is wrong with you? And what is lost in that, in the book, she talks about then shooting a goat. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, the same thing.
It wasn't just
She
enough,
shot the goat.
like
People
a
forget
dog.
about the goat
But she goes,
all the
yeah, I
time.
shoot dogs and I shoot goats. That's
like a true psychopath.
Exactly.
That's like the beginning of a fucking serial killer, isn't it?
You can't let her in the petting
animals.
zoo.
Yes.
Imagine her in a petting zoo, what she'd be
Jeffrey
doing.
Dahmer.
This would be insane. All right, so let's talk the Melania movie. This is it's first of all,
How are we going to talk about the Melania movie? No one has seen it.
Well, I know
How
it's
do
really
we have
good.
this conversation?
You know why we know it's good? Because Amazon paid $40 million for the rights and $35 million to market it. So it's got to be good, right? Because this is all about quality. It's not about trying to get, let's say, more influence in the administration that deals with Amazon and Washington Post and all that. So, I mean, Jason, will you guys be covering? Like, it almost seems like a thing for you guys to talk to people coming out of the theater. But
look, it's kind of become a punchline, this documentary, and I don't think that's fair because, like, especially in New York City, you've got people all around you all the time. But the Melania documentary gives you the opportunity. You buy a ticket, you go to a room, and you're completely by yourself for 2 hours. You get to just kind of chill out, relax. Yeah, it costs, $20 for the ticket or whatever, but you get to like have some time to yourself. You don't have to worry about seeing other people, which I think it's good.
I like it. So 2 hours a piece. That is worth it for $20.
It's worth it. Yeah, it's a little peace of mind, literally. But here's
Only
what
if you can put the movie on mute.
Yeah. No, you can put your AirPods in. You can chill. You can put a face mask on. You can do whatever you want.
Right, it's $20 with the sound, $40 with the sound off.
Yes, exactly.
That's how the tickets go.
You heard the Variety review that was like, if this was shown on a plane, people would still walk out.
Wait, there's that great moment of South Park. I think South Park just did a clip where they show the plane going down in the Atlantic and all the people escaping off of the plane because they didn't want to watch the movie in flight
yeah,
film.
It's perfect. But I talked to a lot of conspiracy theorists. Here's my conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Okay, ready? When a book comes out, and Democrats and Republicans do this, but when a book comes out by a big politician of a party, they buy like 1 million copies, not 1 million, but lots of copies to make sure it's on the bestseller list. And then they can like donate it to people as far as like giveaways, or just like they sit in a warehouse somewhere.
Right.
My conspiracy theory is the movie is going to do well, but it's going to be because in the middle of nowhere, there's going to be somebody going on there buying out theaters for this movie. Maybe if it's even going to be Amazon, maybe it's just Jeff Bezos sitting on a computer buying all these tickets. It's going to sell out. It's going to be the #1 movie just so they can have that. They can have that headline. Of course, Liz, I could be completely wrong here.
Right, Liz, I think it's probably Liz and Amazon. They paid $40 million, which was $26 million more than the next closest bid. Like, this is not even hiding. This is just bribery. Like, this is the nation we live in, just pure corruption.
Let me tell you my Melania. So I went to Slovenia to an activist convention.
Wow.
2.5 years ago. And outside of the capital is Ljubljana. And outside of the capital, we drove to Melania's hometown because I heard that they had erected a statue to Melania. And I forced my partner to go with me. And they were like, we're here in Slovenia and we have to drive 2 hours to this town. The statue of Melania is 11 and a half miles outside of the town. It is 5 feet tall. It is in the middle of a cow field in shit. I was like drudging through shit. You can watch the video of me. I did it live on Instagram. It is 4 feet tall. Have you ever seen when people carve bears out of with chainsaws?
Yeah.
It's carved like that. It's on a stump like that. And when we got there, it had been lit on fire and somebody had shot blue paintballs onto it. And it is the most perfect testament to, we don't need a documentary of Melania. You only need the 4.5 minute version of me. And I'm going to tell you, as you watch me trying to narrate what I'm seeing, at one point I literally peed in my pants because I was laughing so hard that I could not control my own bladder. And the capper of this is last May, somebody stole it.
Wow.
From the stump. That
Maybe Melania. At this point, it sounds like such a horrible thing.
I highly recommend you go find it on my Instagram. I post it every year at the holiday. It's my gift to people. But it is next level.
So, Vaughn, it was stolen. I think that's remarkable. I didn't even know there was a Melania statue.
Yeah, and it looks vaguely like her, but also like the knees are dirty. It is so random.
A lot of stuff going on there.
Epic, yeah. That's my derailment from having anything to say about the Melania movie, other than the fact that nobody in Slovenia cares about her at all.
And we're continuing our conversation with our buddies. Lizz Winstead, Keith Price, Jason Selvig. So I got to touch on this. The worst prison escape plan ever. A guy went to try to bust Luigi Mangione out of prison here in New York. This really happened. A guy named Mark Anderson. He's from Minnesota, Mankato, Minnesota. He goes to the prison here on Wednesday in Brooklyn. And he goes there and he says, I'm an FBI agent. And he's carrying a pizza cutter. And he goes, I have a court order to release Luigi Mangione. And then he throws a bunch of papers that have nothing to do with it. And he gets arrested. Like, I'm like, what plan is this? What am I missing here? Like, why would you ever do this? He said, I have an order signed by the judge, authorizing the release of an inmate. So I got to say, Keith, is this just a guy who wanted to free Luigi for his own purposes?
Listen, I understand because I would try my best to do something too.
To get Luigi out.
However,
right. And you'll imprison him in your apartment. Right.
But, if anything, that will help him get closer to Luigi by getting thrown in jail because,
interesting.
You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's hilarious that, I've done some desperate things for love. I'm not going to argue. I mean, I understand.
So, you ever impersonated an FBI agent with a pizza cutter?
I just saw a video of a friend of mine, a comedian friend of mine, and she was talking about some horrible, disgusting, sad, terrible, filthy thing that she wound up doing because the guy was hot and everything. And then was like, but he's practically a criminal. And I was like, as long as you had a good time, honestly, that's really what's important.
It really begs it. Like, what would you? I mean, Jason, you're married now for a while, so the whole courting process is over. Did it ever involve the pizza cutter and impersonating an FBI agent? Was there anything?
Not the pizza cutter, no, but the impersonating FBI agent. Yeah.
Totally.
No, look, it's a terrible plan, right? But it's only a terrible plan because it didn't work. Imagine if it worked. It could have worked. Like, you go in there, it's confidence is key. I just love that they were like, do you have any ID? And he's like, yeah, here's my ID. And it was just the Minnesota state driver's license. It's like, you know what? You got to play the part. So look, it didn't work, but Can we just imagine like it did? Like
Imagine.
Just
and
imagine.
the FBI
Well,
agents
there's
are
the
like,
movie.
like
he
John Lennon. Just
absconded.
imagine.
Right.
It
Imagine
could've.
the FBI agents have to explain, like, but you know, he said he was FBI and he had a pizza cutter.
He had a
Can
pizza
we just
cutter.
talk about the pizza cutter?
Like,
It's
what are you
kind
gonna
of
do with
racist.
that?
Like a guy named Luigi, you're bringing a pizza cutter. Like, what is even going
I didn't
on
see
here?
that angle.
You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like, what's happening? Like you hear in Minnesota, every pizza place is Luigi's, and it's that racist guy with the mustache and the hat and
Right.
the box, and it's like, I don't know. The whole one, I was like, sir. Also, that seems like wildly Minnesotan, where I'm just gonna go and see what happens. I'm just gonna try it. I can't. What could it be the worst?
Worst case, they
Get
say no,
arrested?
right? Worst case, they
Whatever.
say no.
I'll get 3 squares. It's fine.
So that's
Because
Minnesota.
Jason, I'm sure you experienced this too. In Minnesota, here's the deal. It is the country of the long talk. Like, you cannot get a Minnesotan to shut the fuck up about saying like, they will tell you a story that lasts 25 minutes. And so that should have been like the tactic that got rid of ICE in and of itself. It's like, so anyway, I was just wondering what I was going to have for breakfast. And I was like, oh God, do I have an egg? I don't know. I don't know if I have any milk for coffee. I'm going to have to go.
This
Like,
explains so much
it
about
is
you.
Unbelievable.
This explains Lizz Winstead. Now I understand Liz. Every answer like 9 minutes. I love it. It's radio. Like, I think it's so funny. So maybe this is Minnesota.
So what are you
nice.
saying about the? Do you think the pizza cutter was like? It wasn't a weapon. It was like
It was a
he was like
racist-
he's gonna love this. He's
Yes!
gonna love. Is that
I
like
have a
really
gift
what
for
you think it was?
Oh, it was a gift for Luigi,
It was a
right?
gift?
Like, it was a white guy who would have brought like a MAGA hat or mayonnaise or something. Something white people
I'm
like.
just going to walk out with him and I'm going to go, Luigi, a pizza cutter for you.
And there was nothing even in there. I couldn't find reporting that the guy's name was Anderson, that he did it to try to, like, Mark Anderson, did he do it because he was concerned Luigi, or was he gay? Was he going after Luigi, or was it just like a random thing? His friends are like, oh, I dare you. Okay. We don't know. I don't know the backstory. He said when they found out,
Can't find a backstory. His name is Anderson.
I said,
How
he
old
said
is he?
when they asked for his ID and they questioned him, then he began throwing documents at the jail officers. Like, I'm like, what? This plan was ridiculous. Worst plan ever. Genius, though. But it was so, exactly, Jason. It's one of those things like in a movie. Like that. So that's insane. And it goes, it might be crazy enough just to work. And
Well,
everyone
let
goes,
me tell you something.
and they look at the camera, and then it's they cut-
2026. The
Right.
dumbest thing possible will happen. So it's kind of a surprise that this didn't work. Like, the dumbest, worst things are happening all the time. This is a really dumb plan. I can't believe it didn't work. It makes sense that it would work given the
Right.
year that we're in right now.
It's no more ridiculous than the one with the Ben Affleck movie where they pretend it's a film crew and they go to Iran and get
Yeah.
like Indian dip. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's insane too. Like, you're kidding me. And you bring a pizza cutter? Yeah, you bring a pizza cutter. Like, that's just, what was the name of that movie?
Argo.
Oh yeah, that was
Luigi, go fuck yourself. or
Argo
whatever.
from
Yeah,
Fargo
No,
to
not
Argo.
Fargo. No. The what was the movie? What
It's
was it called?
Argo. It's called Argo.
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 Definitely
Yeah. I
called
think you said
It
Fargo.
won
Sorry.
didn't it win an Oscar?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was a good movie and it was a real story. But I mean, that's an insane. That's
Well,
one of those
plot.
things where they go, it might be crazy, just crazy enough to work. And everyone looks at the camera, and that one worked. This one, why are we judging Mark Anderson? I hope someone goes in with something. The white Minnesota guy. What is white Minnesota guy like? Frozen fish? They try to sneak in to the
Lutefisk?
prison.
Yeah.
What kind of fish? You guys eat cold frozen fish, don't you?
Lutefisk.
Lutefisk.
It's a Swedish fish.
There you
Or
go.
It's actually a Scandinavian fish. You prepare it in 2 ways. If you're Swedish with butter, if you're Norwegian with white sauce. Whatever. I'll
All
shut
right.
up.
What do we got
It's
here?
like, it's like the clam chowder. There's
Yeah.
the Boston and then there's the Manhattan.
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
a
let's-
fish they cure and lie and then bury it in a bag in a backyard.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And then
Look
they
up how-
eat it?
Yeah, that's how they cure it. They literally cure it and lie and then put it in a burlap bag and bury it in the fucking dirt.
Jason,
y'all
did
wonder-
you see that?
and
when you were
y'all
there?
again,
I did not see that. I
Sure.
did not see,
Y'all
I did not see that with my
seasoning.
reporting.
and as a culture, y'all are afraid of seasoning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
Y'all got
Keith,
It's seasoned
Hey,
with dirt.
let
What
me
are you
tell you
talking about?
something.
There's plenty of seasoning on there.
let me tell you something. That is one of the reasons that we ride hard. I was saying this earlier to join
Yes,
you.
so.
The fish is buried in the backyard?
These people, between the Southeast Asians that have come, between the Somali folks, the Hispanic folks, they have upped our food game in ways, and not only upped our food game, like by just introducing us to their own cultural foods, but also upping our boring ass gray food better. So people are like, you made potatoes better. We have to stand with you in the streets every day because that is a gift that no one has given us until this point.
I think it's great. I mean, you
You
have
tasted food for the first time, basically, and you're like, "Oh my gosh,
Seriously.
We're
we
with
have
these
to
people.
get
Yeah.
to
In
the
fact,
streets,
I
to the
said too,
streets."
in the Minnesota State Fair is this giant thing here. And the number one food this year at the Minnesota State Fair were these Somali street fries. It's like Somali poutine.
Oh.
And so when ICE raids started happening, I was talking to a friend of mine who's Somali, and I said, do you think Minnesotans have turned the corner? Like, do you think really like that sort of isolated white racism-y thing is going? And she goes, no, I think it was the street fries at the fair. I think people loved the fries and they have now come around. I was like, okay. Any way you can bring it.
Whatever it
anything
takes.
that works, that brings it around,
Yes.
you got to happen. Just let it happen.
No, and I think as a minority myself, being of Arab heritage, it used to be weird when people would say, I'm Arab, and they're like, oh, I love hummus. Like, they were doing it to bond with you. Like, it's kind of weird. I even do a joke about it, but I'm saying like, it comes from a place of trying to be like, oh, well, you're not that foreign. I love your food, that kind of stuff. So food can be a bonder. That's why entertainment can be a thing that brings people closer together. They learn about you through TV and film. And speaking of TV, last thing here, rapper Nicki Minaj joined Trump at the podium this week and said she's Trump's #1 fan, and she held hands and thinks he's great. And then Trump says, I don't know her, but she seems great, like, and then she got a gold card from Trump that she can now somehow stay in America. I didn't know she had written on Facebook in 2018 that she was born in Trinidad and Tobago, came here illegally when she was 5. That's what she wrote, her exact words. So I don't know what's going on here at all. This insanity of Nicki Minaj. Anything you want to add, Keith?
Well, all I can say is when you look back at the history of how slaves got here, originally when the other tribes were selling them to the white people, Nicki Minaj has now been reincarnated as one of those descendants. That's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, I said it.
All right.
Yes, I said it.
Keith said, all right, before we run out of time,
straight
I
up.
want to give everyone a chance to plug what they're doing, what's going on. Liz, let's start with you because you're doing so much great work there in Minnesota. Where can people follow you and what's coming up on your podcast?
You can follow me at Lizz Winstead, at Abortion Front, on all that. And our podcast drops tonight. And what we're talking about is, well, we watched 50,000 people march in Minneapolis last Friday. 100,000 people marched. And Jason's been one of the champions of covering the March for Life. But it is, they set their anti-abortion agenda and laid out, there's a Project 2025 playbook that's literally focused on, basically it's a Project 2025 for your uterus. And so we break that down to talk about like what's happening and the parallels around the white Christian nationalism that happens in ICE and in our country and in the anti-abortion movement.
Very good. Jason, what about you?
I'm going to forego the plugging our own stuff here and talk about an organization in Minneapolis who I came in contact with called Neighborhood House. They've got a website, neighborhoodhousemn.org. They're doing a lot of great work there, and you can donate to them on their website.
Are they helping the people who
They're
are
helping? Yes. People.
That's good. No, when I talked to the councilwoman yesterday, she talked about people about to get evicted because they haven't
Rent
worked
assistance
in
is
a
the
month.
#1 thing people need right now.
And that they're trying to get a moratorium by Governor Walz. Keith, last thing before the last minute, where can people follow you, my friend?
Well, they can find me at keithpricecurtaincall.com, same place on Instagram, and at Comedy Daddy on the Twitter. And, for you folks out in the Minneapolis area, y'all just keep doing what you're doing. The world is watching. The world is watching.
We're watching and supporting you. Thank you all three. You were great.